Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Elon Musk and how he just bought out Twitter and what this could potentially mean for the platform and its users. If you like this kind of content, you should definitely stay till the end of this video. Check out all our other social medias. But before we get into this, I just got to say one thing. It's not financial advice. We don't accept liabilities for the loss that you might incur. And everything here is strictly for research and use purposes. So with that in mind, we're going to jump into the content now. Elon Musk. Twitter finally accepts the buyout, giving Elon Musk total control of the company. It was a $44 billion purchase. Now, at the time, this means that Twitter was roughly about $54 per share. I'm not going to be able to tell you how much share prices might go up or down based on him buying it, but usually Elon Musk, whatever he touches goes pretty hot. But I'm not here necessarily to talk about stock prices. I'm here more to talk about what this means for us as cryptocurrency users. So more or less, the first thing I wanted to say is that Elon Musk buying this platform could initially become something that will enable more free speech and then allow for less censorship. So both those things are something that people have been complaining about on Twitter for a long time. To be honest, I kind of agree, because you know what? Like, Twitter kind of needs to be an open space. It can't be controlled by one side or the other to enact some form of, let's say, political leaning. So what I find weird is that specifically one type of content will get censored and other types of content will get pushed out. And the types of things that I would want to see censored are not the ones that generally do get censored, right? So when you see things like people making sexual harassment on each other online, or just being overall creepy and death threats, like, that's got to get censored. But then when it comes down to crypto scam bots and people scamming each other in the comments, that's not something that's being regulated or taken care of. So that's why I think Elon buying Twitter might actually be a good thing, simply because it's going to allow for an opportunity for a little bit more free speech, and then the removal of spam bots within the comment section, which is kind of very important considering how many scams there actually are. A lot of people were tripping out because they were thinking, okay, well, Elon Musk is going to be buying Twitter. What does that mean for us? Well, I'm gonna basically tell you, it's gonna allow for a more interactive economy on Twitter. That's gonna start by basically allowing more payment options for micropayments and tip outs on Twitter. And they mentioned that Twitter and Stripe are going to roll out USDC payout program for creators via Polygon. Right off the bat there, that tells you that they're already preparing for a digital economy that will allow people to tip each other out based off of tweets. What that will do is it'll allow content that people actually want to see to rise to the top, and people to be paid out based off of what actually wants to be seen by the people in their communities. What will end up happening is communities will end up more interactive with each other, because initially they allowed tip outs with BTC and Ethereum, and the reason that doesn't work so well is because it's expensive to send Bitcoin and Ethereum to people. So if you want to send someone $1, you can't really do that, because Ethereum, it costs you $20 to send $1, and Bitcoin is the same thing. It doesn't really allow for a creative economy and tip outs based on that kind of system. But if you allow USDC on the Polygon network, that does allow for tip outs, because Polygon's extremely cheap and, relatively fast in terms of its settlement. Plus, Dogecoin is another thing that they wanted to implement into Twitter, and I kind of like that idea, simply because if they do decide to introduce Dogecoin, we're likely to see Dogecoin actually used as what it was meant to be used for, not just a meme currency that people speculate on. It was designed to be a tip out currency. You like what someone says, send him a Dogecoin or send him a few Dogecoins, and you know what I mean, he gets rewarded, even if it's 10 cents, or back then it was a lot less, it was like 1/10 of a penny. The reality is that it's not painful to send someone a Dogecoin at 10 cents for your pocket, but to send someone $1 in Ethereum could cost you 20, which doesn't make sense for the platform to use that as a main tip out option. I personally see this helping creatives on Twitter get paid out without the need of going through expensive fees. That's basically my opinion of that in a nutshell. The other thing too that I wanted to mention, right, is he said his main priority initially will be to eliminate spam bots and get rid of crypto scammers. So that's the two things that he wants to focus on Twitter. I could fully get behind that. That's for sure going to help with the actual platform being less shitty, because I think the main issue with the platform is censorship and scammers. There's too much of both. Personally, if he's going to remove the scammers and have less censorship, that's a good thing. And if he does decide to censor things, I kind of hope he'll censor things that really do need to be censored. I don't know how much I could stress that, because if you censor too much, people get angry, and if you censor too little, people get angry. So he's going to be walking a fine line of both. We'll see where it goes. And the other thing too that I wanted to mention was that if he does, well, he is buying it, there's a good chance he might actually bring Donald Trump's Twitter back, which is going to be eventful, so to speak. I mean, Orange Man always put out a lot of tweets and a lot of people laughed at them, so those are going to probably be back soon. I won't lie, I laugh at the tweets. They're just tweets. I guess the other thing too that people mentioned was that Elon Musk, hostile buyout. I mean, realistically, hostile, it's not the correct word I would use for it. Fine, how he approached it could be technically hostile, because he offered to buy the company at higher market valuation. If they didn't sell to him, he would have sold his stocks and, you know, dumped the share price. So he did kind of put them between a rock and a hard spot. But the reality is that the people who owned Twitter beforehand was Vanguard. And I don't know if you guys heard of Vanguard, but Vanguard is basically the second largest firm in the world. So if BlackRock is like a $10 trillion firm, the largest company, Vanguard is the second largest. Just from that alone, it could tell you like why Twitter was leaning so hard in one direction. It's the reality that a company like Vanguard that has a lot of political leanings was pushing the platform a certain way. And for a lot of people, they're looking at Elon Musk as the guy who's going to buy the platform and kind of restore its former glory, if that makes any sense. Personally, we'll see how it plays out, because I wouldn't be able to tell you until, let's say, a month, 2 months, maybe even 6 months or a year from now, because we don't really know how radical the changes are going to be yet. I think for the time being, it's going to be a positive change for Twitter, and I think the people are going to feel happy knowing that it's in his hands as opposed to another, you know, liberal corporation's hands. So I hope you enjoyed that take of Elon Musk and his Twitter buyout, and I hope that it was valuable to hear this perspective. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, let us know how you feel, and definitely check out our other content. Take care.